Never know. Hey, everyone. Oops, wait a minute. Yeah. Hey, everyone. It's Rochel Marie Lawson, the queen of feeling fabulous. And I have a fabulous show for you today. My guest is going to bring it. She's going to keep it real. And that is one thing I love about this lady. And I'm just going to leave the tickler on for you right now. So if you are um, a brave, bold, unstoppable woman, if you are looking to build and command your empire, if you are looking to get some real words and wisdom and nuggets of gold, then stay tuned. While you are preparing, as I like to say, get you a place to sit, somewhere to, your favorite beverage, something to write with, tell your family to give you a few moments, because this show is going to be impactful for you. And while you're doing that, let me take care of business. I want to thank our sponsors. First of all, Blissful Living for You at Blissful Living, the number 4, the letter U.com. Lots of amazing things going on in that arena for you to up-level your wellness, wisdom, and wealth. Wellness isn't just for the mind, body, and spirit. It's for mind, body, and business. And in addition, they have events coming up, particularly the Brave, Bold, and Unstoppable Women's Summit. Next one is happening Saturday, October 14th in Atlanta, Georgia. And my guest today is the keynote speaker. So if you haven't picked up your tickets, you definitely want to do that now. And you can go to Blissful Living, the number 4, the letter U.com, click on events, and you can get the information on how to get your tickets. And again, bring a sister along with you and just make a day of it, because it's going to be so impactful that you're going to be so glad you were in the house with us. So while you're doing that and checking that out, let me thank the other sponsor, because I know you're sitting down already with your pen, your paper, your beverage, and you're ready to go. So the other sponsor is All Day Cable Incorporated at alldaycableinc.com, premier telecommunications installation company, woman-owned, minority-owned, been in business since 1990, and continue to command the business arena of telecom installations. Located in the heart of Silicon Valley, definitely a company that if you have a need for voice, data, fiber optic cabling, wireless access points, audio, video, speaker systems, monitor, whatever it is, so that you can make the right connections with your customers on the end the first time, then you want to have a company that has longevity and have 5-star ratings from all of their customers. So, of course, that company is All Day Cable Inc. at alldaycableinc.com. So now that you've gotten some opportunity to get yourself together, so to speak, you're listening if you're driving, or you got us in the background, or whatever it is, you're going to be ready. Or let me say, are you going to be ready for this? And the last thing before I get into the guest is make sure you subscribe to the show so you get advanced notifications of the show and the guests. But not only that, you can repeat and listen to the show. And please share the show with everyone you love and care about, because the information in here is impactful. And ordinarily, if you were to connect with the guests on my show, you'd be paying for this information that they're disseminating. But right here on the Blissful Living podcast, you are getting this information for free. So let me tell you about my guest, because she's my girl. Her name is she. I always say, well, I've been saying this for, a little bit. She's my twin sister, my sister from another mother. And we don't know what our daddies did, but we definitely are two peas in that same pod. And we're going to leave it at that. But I love this lady. She keeps it real like me. And that's something I really love. And she's a business owner commanding it. But I'm going to let her tell you more about that. So let me tell you about her. Her name is Dr. Rochel S. Thomas. And she is your business surgeon. She is the executive founder and CEO of the Exceptional Women Enterprise, an enterprise created to remove the barriers of sustainable growth that often interrupt the potentials of success for many women entrepreneurs, especially us women of color. The Exceptional Women Enterprise consists of results-driven entities focusing on providing mastery-level tools of business principles for a clear understanding of each complex level of your entrepreneurial journey. And so today we're going to be talking about about being a woman entrepreneur in today's time. And so Dr. Rochel, welcome to the show. And
hey. That's all right. That's all right. They didn't catch you. They didn't catch you. That's all right.
Anyways, let's say it anyways. Boss ass women do the things that they need to do, and they show up wherever we need to be to get the business done. And we got a shout out from our girl Leslie Lou in San Francisco. Girl, yeah.
Listen.
Because it'd be 3 powerhouse badass chicks, and we'd be doing the thing. But anyways, love you, Leslie. And Dr. Michelle said, go ahead on, tell her, Dr. Michelle.
Listen, no, first of all, y'all know, don't play with my Leslie. Leslie, I borrowed Leslie from Rochel, and she is my new favorite person. I love me some Leslie. She is phenomenal. If you guys don't know what she's out there doing, and especially for Asian Americans and all of the fights that she is doing, she is the bomb.com. You hear what I'm saying? And that's the other thing. That's going to lead us into what I want to talk about, especially with being a woman entrepreneur in today's time. Listen, ladies, can we talk for a minute, just for a little bit?
Okay,
because first of all, let me just paint this scenario, okay? When you're a business person and an entrepreneur and whatever, I posted on Facebook while I was at the airport yesterday morning. What is your capacity? What is your capacity for your business? Did you get into business because you wanted to have the shine? Did you get into business because you wanted people to say that you're a business owner? Or did you get into business to make some change and create a legacy? Because there's a difference in how you move when you do that. So today, I'm in a hotel room in the middle of Manhattan. It's flooding outside. I'm praying that this connection stays connected. But just as Rochel said, then when you a boss woman, then you got to do what you got to do. So am I in my office? Am I in my element? Can I do what I need to? No, but this is my assignment at this moment. So I'm here and I'm going to give you everything possible that I can in this short amount of time. But what I want us to begin to first think about is, how do we support each other? Because in this day and time, what we don't want to do is fall back into what I call the invisible chains of slavery. And so society is funneling us into that mindset, and we got to interrupt that. Everyone wants you to believe that as an entrepreneur, that means that you have to be and do this alone. You can't support anybody else. It has to be all about your money. It all has to be about your promotions. It all has to be about what you're doing. But I'm going to tell you, as a real business person, the more people that you extend and that you support, the more people that you groom into your community, the stronger your business will be. The more that you sit in the island by yourself and you're only talking about yourself and what you offer and what you do, what happens with your audience and your customers, they become muted to your message. So don't mute your audience because it's only about you. People want to know what your ethics and integrity is about. That will bring people into your business faster than any product or service. Because if anyone that connects with you, just like, and Leslie will be the first to attest to this, like, we support each other. And it's not that this has been this long-term friendship or relationship. We met each other. We understood each other's energy. Rochel has been on my platform. I've been on hers. Leslie's been on both of ours. But it's deeper than that. It wasn't about selling tickets. It wasn't about trying to be on air. It was about, I need to find out what this sister over here needs and what that sister over here needs so that I can figure out within my business how I support them. Not just when I'm doing something, not just when I have an event, not when I'm selling a product. But these ladies should know, the people in your ecosystem should know that whether it's day or night, they can make a phone call to you and you will put whatever you have aside to make sure that what they have going on is important to you.
I love it.
That's the first thing that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about, and Rochel, this is what we talk about all the time. Nothing drives us crazier than to see someone that is using someone else, but there's no give back to it.
take, suck you dry. I say they are the vampires. They will take your time, energy, your expertise, and promise you the world, and then give you absolutely nothing back once they've sucked you dry. I've been experienced that. I know you have, and I know most successful entrepreneurs, women particularly, have experienced that as well. And so I want to jump in and ask you this, since we're really talking real here. You know, what are some of the biggest misconceptions, not only of entrepreneurism, but of, because being a male entrepreneur and a woman entrepreneur is completely different. You would think they're the same, but it's completely different. So what are some of the biggest misconceptions that women face as being women entrepreneurs?
That we have reached equality. That's our biggest niche. That we can enter into our entrepreneur journey and our business goals from the same steps and the footprints of our male counterparts. It just doesn't happen. But, however, that does not mean that you have to shrink. That does not mean that you have to become combative the way that you do this. If you're going to enter into this business world as an entrepreneur, see, entrepreneur, first of all, is a very new name for small business owner. Like we've been around, we built this country as small business owners. But what we are not passing on are the fundamentals that are necessary to build a strong business to have sustainability and longevity. And I think it's because we are coming into this digital world, this technology world, and we believe that times have changed. But what we have to understand is people are still people. The very algorithms that are out there that are filtering through applications, that are filtering through loan applications and all of they were created, the input was created by a person. So the first biggest misconception that I find, especially with women entrepreneurs, is that this is just going to be this instant overnight success thing. And I'm leaving my job because I don't want to work this hard. Being a woman entrepreneur is going to require for you to triple the hours that you put into that 9 to 5 or that corporate position that you have. The very biases and micro biases that you experience with your job. I hear so many women that's like, I'm leaving the corporate world and the business world so I can start my own because I don't want to deal with that. You are still going to deal with that in the entrepreneurial world because lending, funding, venture capitalism. Let's talk about that for a minute. So everybody has this mindset that a lot of our setbacks comes from funding. I'm not able to do what I need to do because I don't have the funding. So let's talk about funding for a second. Out of the funding that comes out of venture capitalism, women of color receive less than 2% of that venture capital dollar. So it forces most of us to start with the grassroots, and we have to build whatever we need to build on our own. And if you're not financially ready to fund that type of endeavor, then we end up being the first ones to close our doors. Well, back to the community portion of this. If you come into this understanding that you cannot do this, you will not be able to build this success with us women at each other. We can't do it because micro biases, we're looked at as hobbyists instead of serious business.
Exactly.
A man can go and pitch to a venture capital company this vague idea that he doesn't even have to think all the way through, and they'll give him millions of dollars. When we go to pitch to a venture capitalist, because we don't have people in the room that look like us, that speak like us, that think like us, and feel like us, they want us to have almost 10 years worth of data to prove that our concept is going to work. So what do we do from there, ladies? We lean on each other. We lean on each other because that lady and this lady and these ladies may have resources and access to things that you may not even know that's out there. But if we don't have that communication, if we don't bring a platform so that we can begin to be safe and vulnerable about what our needs are, forget the titles, y'all. Let's get rid of all that. Yeah, I'm a founder CEO, but what does that really mean if my business fails? That's just a title. Right. So first biggest misconception, that I have to do this alone, that now that I'm in this new digital world, that as a woman, I'm not going to have to fight the same battles that I had to fight in corporate America. That is a misconception. Funding, second misconception. That is not the only thing that you need to make your business successful. You have to have a solid plan. And the third thing is that we do not have to lean on each other. So those are my three big ones.
I love it. I love it. You know, you said something powerful the other day, I want to say actually last week, I was watching the news, the show, it was a clip with Gail King and her crew, and they had an African-American woman on there that is the CEO of a venture capital funding element for women of color. And so they're actually being sued because it's for women of color, even though women of color comprises all colors. I think
Yes.
there's a misnomer that, you know, if you say a
It only
woman of
means
color,
Black women. Yeah.
African American women. But here's the thing. She said that with all the funding that's going out, you know, for venture capitalism or funding businesses, women are funded less than 1%. Not girl, when she said this, she said all the money, the billions of dollars that are being funded for utilized by venture capitals, it's for women entrepreneurs, women businesses are being funded 0.1%.
Absolutely.
And women of color that have businesses are even funded less than that. And when she said that, I was like, oh my gosh, well, yeah, you know, if you take $1 billion, 0.1%, you know, is may seem like a lot, but it's not in comparison to how much money is going into male businesses, what you just shared. So it's really about being community. And here's the thing that I think some women have that's an issue with regards to that is they feel that if they share something, then they're taking away themselves. And I want you to speak on that because I don't believe in that. And I believe for me, the reality is every time I shared something with a community of women that were up level more than me, I got valuable information that allowed me to up level my business each and every time. So can you talk about that, Dr. Michelle?
So first of all, let me just be transparent. Where there's opportunity, there are always going to be opportunists that are going to come in and try to make some sort of predatory-like practice out of that opportunity. So we have to be aware of that. But back to the whole concept that we as women, if we open our mouth, then that very moment, someone in the abyss somewhere is going to take that idea and make gazillions of dollars off of that concept. That is one of the things that I call the invisible chains of slavery. Yes. We have been conditioned to believe that we must be suspicious of each other. Well, why is she asking? Why does she want to know? What is she offering? What is she going to take away from me? And listen, ladies, first thing that you have to understand, in 2023, in this decade, millennial, whatever you want to call it, the chances of you launching something that you are the only is slim to none.
Right.
There's always going to be someone out there that is going to be offering a similar product or a similar service than what you're doing. What you have to know is, and I talked about this on your virtual conference. I drive my team crazy because I tell it all. I'll tell you everything. I tells it all. You know why I tell it all? Because I already know what my unique qualifier is. I know that I'm not going to be the only speaker out here in the country. I don't want to be the only speaker out here in this country. I'm not the only author. I'm not the only founder. I'm not the only CEO. I don't worry about someone taking from me because as long as I am doing what I'm supposed to do, my community is going to support me. If you are in an ecosystem, and y'all hear me use that word a lot, if your ecosystem brings that level of suspicion to you, guess what? You're in the wrong system.
Mm-hmm.
You have to find, and sometimes these communities, these networks that you need to belong to that are safe for you aren't the ones that's out there that's booming the loudest. Okay, I'm going to say that again. what does your grandma used to say? You know, the squeaky wheel gets the attention or whatever that is. So
The loudest mouth. Yeah.
yeah, so sometimes the people that's in your face and that's booming and that's doing a lot of bragging and a lot of stuff. I'm not saying that runs true for everyone, but sometimes the loudest person may not still be the safest place for you to be.
Right.
So in order for you to know where these pockets of networks that are safe for you to share and have a conversation, then you have to network and ask those questions. But no one can help you unless we know what your needs are. And the need comes from us being in that environment where we can say, hey, listen, this was an idea that I came up with, and let's hash this out. Y'all ever say, okay, let me just do an exercise. You ever sat at home? My pastor had this scenario. He said he woke up, it was sunny, was feeling good, went out there, he was on vacation, went out there on the balcony, looked at the ocean, and all of a sudden he let his mind, he started thinking about the things that he wanted to do that was coming up on the next series or whatever, and he thought himself into a depression and went right on back to bed. So I want you to think about that with your business. You're sitting in your space, you're sitting in your office, you have all these ideas that you want to do for your companies and for your growth. But because you are the only cycle that you have, you end up thinking and overthinking and over processing to the point that it almost freezes you.
Right.
Because there's no outlet, there's no release, there's no bounce back. I've called on Rochel with some big ideas, and my sister has told me, you know what, I like that, but here's what I need you to do. I want you to go back to the drawing board. I want you to get this detail and then come back to me.
Vice versa, because
exactly.
That's what it is. That's what it
I'm
is.
not. Why would I be offended and be like, oh, I'm a founder CEO? How dare she say, no, if I want this to work, the only way for me to do this is I have to get it out of my head and into the ears of someone else that has a different level of expertise than what I do. So back to your original question, the mindset that we cannot share, that we cannot speak, that we should not ever tell anybody what we're doing is something that is there to keep us suppressed. Find a safe space, find a better ecosystem that you can sit in. I'm about to start in October what I call is called the Founders Forum. And this Founders Forum is where we as business owners, as founders, as CEOs, or what have you, we get to sit in a round table and really hash out some concepts and ideas to help the next sister be able to scale her growth. What we want to do is be able to put our forces behind the idea. But in order for us to do that, we all have to sit down and lay our cards at the table. Now, here's the how you protect yourself. If you feel like, especially for my products, ladies, if you're building products that you are going to put out there, whether that is teas or makeup or skincare items or anything, make sure that you have two things in place, and that's an NDA and a non-compete. If you have those,
NDA is because they may not know what that is.
So an NDA is non-disclosure agreement, and what happens is before you have that conversation with anybody, if you're thinking about building an application, if you're putting some type of product out there that has your branding on it, then the first thing that you do is you trademark that branding so no one can take that. The next thing that you do is you have someone or you have an attorney to create an NDA for you. What happens with that non-disclosure agreement, it says that as any information that I speak with you about, anything that I talk to you about this project, you have no right to share that with anyone else without my permission. And you make that NDA extend well past your relationship. So that's 10 years. Like, don't be afraid to lock because you're protecting yourself. The non-compete is that if you're working for me and you're doing this work for me, then that means for the next 2 years, you're not going to do and produce the same product for someone else for the next 2 years. Yeah. If you have someone that's not willing to help you with that, then that's not the person you need to be with. But there are parameters out there that can be used to help protect yourself. But again, unless you're having these conversations, I see so many women with great ideas, great businesses, but they cannot build that business or build upon that business because they don't know what the next level looks like, the next step.
I want to hold tight, Dr. Michelle, because I want to go back to the NDA and the non-compete. I don't care if you're dealing or getting together with a group of your friends that are other business owners or Fortune 500 companies that are looking to do business with you. When you sit, and this is so very important, but we get so intimidated sometimes of how people gonna think that it ain't about how people can think. It's about you protecting your asset, which is your business and the knowledge you have in that. So whether you're sitting with the group of other entrepreneurs in a woman group or you getting ready to broker deal with a Fortune 500 company, you always want to have that NDA sign, that non-disclosure agreement sign, whether things go forward or not, because it protects you and the valuable information that you may have shared during negotiations, conversations, and all of that. And then the non-compete. How many people have had employees that are with them 2 months, 3 months, 5 years, whatever, and then go off and take the same stuff they were doing for you and do it for somebody else?
Absolutely.
And help that person to be successful with the stuff they were doing for you because you didn't have a non-compete. Very, very important. These two agreements are so important. And it helps you to stand in light that you are a true bona fide business owner versus somebody that's just eager and willing to accept whatever it is that's being given to you. Because I guarantee you, if you share your stuff with Jeff Bezos, if you share your stuff with Elon Musk, and they feel that, or heck, for that matter, Bill Gates, if they feel they can capitalize on it and you didn't have a non-disclosure agreement or non-compete,
they're going to
they
take
will
it and run.
Stuff and they will run, and they got way more money than any of us at our level, and they will get away with it. So that's an exclamation point on Tuesday. All right. Okay, go ahead. We got like a couple more minutes too.
The other thing I want to talk about just briefly is how you show up as a woman owner, okay? Because a lot of times we enter into our entrepreneur journey from an employee mindset. I want y'all to write that down. I want you to ask yourself, are you entering into your entrepreneur journey as an owner or an employee? And here's how you know when you're sitting in the thick of things and you're not able to build a system that you can elevate and oversee what's happening within your own company or companies, you're operating as an employee. Everyone has a start, but what I teach the folks that's connected to my network and any coaching or whatever, I teach you how to build it from the end backwards. I'm a real estate person, and y'all, if you've listened to me, y'all know, y'all have heard me give this scenario, but if I want to build a building and I have my contractor, my general contractor, and my architect, the first person that's going to come to me is the architect, and they're going to ask me, how tall do you eventually want this building to be? And how wide do you want this building to be? Why do they need to know that? Because that determines how deep they dig for that foundation. Because the taller the building, the wider the building, the deeper the foundation has to be rooted in the ground to hold that building. You also have to understand that the taller that you get to a building, I'm in New York, so this home of these skyrises. Here's what y'all may or may not know. These buildings are designed to do this. They build the flexibility into the building, the taller that the building gets, because it has to be able to withstand the storms. It has to be able to withstand the rain, the winds, the hurricanes, the tornadoes and things coming through. It has to be able, the structure of that building has to be strong enough to move with that, because anything rigid would snap. So I want to take that scenario back into your business. If you know that you want to have an enterprise, if you know that you want to have your own Fortune, whatever company or whatever, you have to start with that in mind. And you have to build the foundation of your operation strong enough to handle that scaling. So many of us come in with a concept and we build maybe a one-story foundation. And then when it's time to expand, we literally have to scrap the whole program and start all over again.
Yeah.
But in order for you to be able to understand, most of us haven't had the seat at the table. So If you haven't had the seat at the table of the managers or the owners that did not give you that raise or did not give you that promotion or force you to work overtime, and you wasn't there with the decision makers of how they came to that decision, you're only coming from an employee standpoint of, well, I'm not going to have that in my company. I can't tell you how many women I hear say, oh, I'm not going to do that in my company, but you don't know why they had to do it. You
Right.
don't know why they had to make those hard decisions. So if you have not had the seat at the table, then my biggest advice for you is, before you step into industries that you haven't been in or positions that you have never held, intern, mentor, mirror someone that has, so that you can save a lot of valuable money and resources from starts and restart.
For real. All right. Okay. We are at the end of our time. And, it goes fast when you were sharing words of wisdom and nuggets of gold, and we dropping some, and we dropped some in the show today. Now, one last thing, I'm going to give you time, Dr. Michelle, one last comment that you would like to share, make, empower, whatever it is, those that are watching us, that will hear us, that will see us. What would you say to them right now?
No matter what anyone has ever told you in your throughout your whole life, whatever adversities, whatever issues, whatever pain points you've ever gone through, your success doesn't depend on your race, your gender, or wealth. Your success depends on your drive. So if you know within your heart of hearts that despite any adversities that you've been through, that you are supposed to be where you are, don't allow anyone to come in and take that away from you. Don't allow anyone to sidetrack you. Fortify up yourself, your heart, your mind, your soul, your operations. Surround yourself with people that are where you want to be, that can support and sustain you. Because all of us, no matter how much is in the bank account, no matter what your title is, we all are still human. We all have family things that we have to deal with and emotions that we have to deal with. So when you are struggling, when you got to have that good person, that good sister that you can call and say, I just need to cry right now. And she'll sit there with you and let you shed those tears. And then she's the same sister that's going to say, all right, chick, that's enough. Pull them up. What we got to do next?
Exactly.
That's your support system. So join someplace, whether what's happening with Blissful Living, with they have so much training. You have the Exceptional Woman Network, and we have training tracks specifically to reach all the 5 to 7 stages of your business development. There's so many great places out there that can help support, but it comes with being vulnerable and asking.
I love it. I love you. Thank you, Dr. Michelle, for the words of wisdom, the nuggets of gold. We got a quote or comment in the chat that said, "This whole live show is liquid gold," and that's
Woo.
what we aim to bring. Of course, it was from our girl, our Korean queen, Leslie Liu, but that's what we aim to bring, and that's what we aim to share with all of you that may be watching us, seeing us, or even just first, who the heck are these women? Because it is important for us to support each other. No one can do what you do like you do, even if they're doing the same thing. They can't do it. If that was the case, we wouldn't have all these doctors in the world. We wouldn't have all nurses. We wouldn't have all these businesses. You think about the electronics industry back in the day, everybody was making chips.
Yeah.
But they were making chips in the capacity that was their expertise. And even though they were making the same quote type of product, the product wasn't the same that was being delivered to the end user. So keep that in mind when you're out there building your business, when you're out there expanding your business, when you're out there starting your business. Just know that there may be people doing what you do, but they can't do it like you do it, and they can't deliver it like you can. And I'm gonna stop there, and I'm gonna say thank you, Dr. Michelle. If you want more, you have
Thank
got to
you.
join us at Brave Bold Unstoppable Women Summit in Atlanta, Georgia, as we affectionately say, the A, October 14th. If not, you can just continue to follow both of us and get nuggets of gold and be involved with our communities as we help to support all of you. Let me thank our sponsors, Blissful Living for You at Blissful Living, the number 4, the letter U.com. Check them out. And our other sponsor, All Day Cable Incorporated at alldaycableinc.com. I'm Rochel Marie Lawson, known as the Queen of Feeling Fabulous. I've got my girl, Dr. Michelle S. Thomas, who dropped some nuggets. She is the exceptional woman. Dropped some nuggets of gold. And she has, look, y'all don't know. She was talking about that high rise in New York that she's sitting in. She got a bag that is as big as that high rise of nuggets of gold for all of you. But you got to connect with us and able to get the goodies. It's like, well, I won't even go there because I was going to take it back to something. Yeah, good. Like, I won't even go there. I won't even go there. I will just stop right there. And I'm going to say, I'm wishing you all peace to your mind, wellness to your body, tranquility to your spirit. Until next time, be healthy, wealthy, and wise. And again, please subscribe to the show and share it with everyone you love and care about. Until next time, goodbye for now.